What's up, Raider Nation? I got another review for you. Raiders versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Raiders lost 20-12, and I'm not gonna say that it was a bad game or we should just, as Raider fans, be panicky. I feel that it's something to build upon. You know, it's a training tool, as people like to say. Let's talk about the offense first. The offense wasn't as crisp except for one play. Amari Cooper had the big 40-yard pass catch, and Latavius Murray ran it in from 2 yards out. That was really the only highlight for the first string offense. Other than that, there were a couple of throws that Derek Carr, I'm sure he wants back. I'm sure there were a couple of throws where receivers could have helped Derek Carr out. But overall, it really was a really uninspiring showing for the Raiders offense. Hopefully, next game, where the first string offense is gonna play for 3 quarters, hopefully they can build up some momentum heading into the regular season. Now, let's talk about the running back situation, because honestly, Latavius Murray, he looks the part. He looks big, strong, fast, had vision, and you saw all that on the Raiders' only scoring drive for the first string offense. You saw all that in one play when he ran it in from 2 yards out. He showed vision. He started one way, went the other way, powered through a couple of tackles. Pretty easy stuff. I think obviously he's going to be the lead back, so he looks the part. I'm expecting big things from him. Now, let's get to the backup. Trent Richardson. As much as I want this to be a great story of how he comes back and has a reclamation in Oakland, I just don't think it's going to happen. I saw him. I looked specifically for him to show me something, show me just a burst of something that I could just say, hey, he might be able to make the squad. But based on what I saw yesterday, I don't think he makes his squad. He didn't show me anything really special. He looks a little bit faster than he did with the Colts and the Cleveland Browns, but nothing really flashy, nothing really excuse me, that makes you say, wow, this could be it for Trent Richardson. I don't think so. It's gonna be really hard. If he can maybe put up a Herculean effort in the third preseason game or the fourth preseason game, I don't see him making the team. But who I do see making the team is Michael Dyer. He showed me something. He showed me vision, and he showed me speed on a couple of runs. There was a 3rd and 1 and a 4th and 1 where he actually got the yardage on his by himself. He showed a good acceleration when he was able to get past the line. I'm thinking he's going to be a solid backup. I'm thinking he's going to make the team. So that's going to be that his play and Trent Richardson's lack of play. I think Michael Dyer is going to be the guy to be the backup. I wish the Raiders had played Taiwan Jones a little bit more, because I feel he is an explosive player. I don't think he's going to be a true backup running back. I think he's going to be more of that X factor, kind of like Percy Harvin. If Bill Musgrave is smart, I mentioned that in a previous video that they should use him more like Percy Harvin, because he has a lot of speed. He can catch the ball, and he's a matchup nightmare. So you move him all across the field, and I think that can be mismatches. But they probably didn't use Taiwan Jones like that, because the Raiders do play the Vikings in the regular season, so they didn't want to show too much, so they were really vanilla. But I would have liked to see him just run some basic plays, speaking of Taiwan Jones. Now, let's get to the receivers. Amari Cooper had the one big pass play against Terrence Newman of the Vikings. That was a great catch and throw by Derek Carr and Amari Cooper. But other than that, the wide receivers were so-so. Rod Streeter came back, and you didn't really see much from him, but that's to be expected because he missed most of training camp. Bryce Butler had a solid game. He had, he had 3 catches, around 30 yards. Seth Roberts, I thought, really could have taken a step forward in this game. And I mentioned the missed opportunities in the beginning of the video, and Seth Roberts should have made that catch. Now, would have been a difficult catch? Yes, but those are the kind of catches you have to make, especially when you're an undrafted player trying to make the squad. And I don't blame Derek Carr for getting mad and saying, catch the ball, come on. I like to see that kind of fire, because you got to make a play for your quarterback. Not every pass NFL is going to be picture perfect where it's right in your hands. You got to make a play for your quarterback. And I thought Seth Roberts should have dove for the ball and and he would have made a spectacular catch as opposed to trying to run under the ball. But hopefully he learns from that, and they look in the film room and say, you know what, dive for that. Go make that special play for your quarterback, and that opens the coach's eyes. So I thought he missed an opportunity to really set himself forward. Michael Crabtree, he had one catch, wasn't nothing spectacular. Kimbrel Tompkins, though, I thought he had a very active game. I thought they should have reviewed his catch against the from Christian Ponder when I thought he was inbounds when Christian Ponder was scrambling. He threw it to the far the near pylon. I thought Kendall Tompkins was in. I thought the coach should have reviewed it, but he showed me good hands and good route running ability or good adjustment when a quarterback breaks containment. So I thought he made some plays that didn't really show up on the stat sheet, but looking at the film, I thought he was very active. Now, let's go to the defense. The defense, let's start with the defensive line. The defensive line wasn't as active, I thought, against the Rams. And that's really surprising because the Vikings had kind of a makeshift offensive line, especially with Lodeholt being out for the year with a torn Achilles. Teddy Bridgewater it seemed like he had all day to throw. He wasn't really pressured, and when he was, on the rare times that he was pressured, he was able to get outside the pocket and make good throws. Teddy Bridgewater went 10 for 14 for 89 yards and one touchdown. So I would like to see our front line be more disruptive, but maybe they didn't want to do a lot of stunts and a lot of exotic blitzes because we do play the Vikings later in the year in the regular season. So I just like to see the defensive line play a little bit better. The linebackers I thought were solid. Malcolm Smith, he was solid. Curtis Lofton was very, very active against the run. And I will give the defensive line and the linebackers a huge credit for this because they were very, very stout against the run. You saw the running backs, the Viking running backs struggled to get yardage. And granted, AP wasn't there, but you still want to see your defense be stout against the run. And the Raiders in this game and in the previous game against the Rams were very stout against the run. That's the one thing you want for a good defense. You want to be stout against the run. So kudos to the linebackers and the defensive line and the DBs. And speaking of DBs, before we get to the DBs, this man Ben Henney, he is making this steam. My God, every game I've seen, it's only been 2 games, but every game he plays in, he seems to make those impact plays. He had a half a sack and a forced fumble. He's very active, always around the ball. I think we found a sleeper in Ben Henney. Now, the DBs. The DBs weren't really special in my mind. DJ Hayden, I know people are going to get on him for letting that touchdown to the Vikings, but I felt that he was in good position and he just got beat by a great throw. A lot of times you're going to lose to a great throw. Teddy Bridgewater put the ball where only his receiver could catch it. And there are plays like that you just there's nothing you can do about it. So I don't really flame DJ Hayden for that. There were some other plays where I thought he played too soft, played too off, played too far too off the receiver. I thought he should play more press. But hopefully he can get it together going into preseason game number 3. I thought TJ Carey, solid as always. Nothing really to talk about him. Excuse me. Keith McGill, nothing spectacular. The DBs as a whole there was nothing really special about them. But hopefully in preseason game number 3, they can show more stability and not be so shaky and giving up those third down plays, because that's really, I thought, where the DBs really let us down. The Vikings kept getting third down conversions, and that's what you don't want going into the regular season. Those long methodical drives where it just saps your defense. Before I go though, one player did step up in the back in a DB field who I thought would have a good game is Jonathan Dowling. I said in my previous game, where the previous video where I previewed this game, Jonathan Dowling, I was looking for him to make a play. He did make a play, and there was a miscommunication between Cordell Patterson and Sean Hill. But I liked how Jonathan Dowling was looking at the quarterback, reading that he was expecting one thing. Cordell Patterson broke inside, and Sean Hill was expecting him to break outside. Jonathan Dowling, as a safety, was looking at the quarterback. He broke off from Cordell Patterson and got the interception. That's the kind of instincts that you want and talent that you want to see from your safeties. Being able to read the quarterback and stay with your man at the same time. So that was great play recognition by Jonathan Dowling. And I thought he was very instinctual. He was very read and react. He wasn't thinking too much. On plays that were on his side of the field, I thought he was right there. A lot of plays didn't get over the top on him, and that's just a real good thing, because if your safety is getting beat, it's going to be a long season. So I thought Jonathan Dowling had a great game. Nate Allen had a good pass breakup early in the game on a deep pass from Teddy Bridgewater, so he did good. Charles Woodson didn't play that much, so can't really say much about him, but it's Charles Woodson, so what is it to say? He's solid. Special teams, uninspiring. Trenton Holiday didn't really show me anything. Trent Richardson didn't show me anything. Tywan Jones. Hopefully they can find somebody back there who can make plays on special teams in terms of returning. But overall, not the best game for the Raiders, but I feel that it's a building block, and it's a teaching tool going into preseason game number 3. Now, if they have the same experience going on into preseason game number 3, then we got something to worry about. But, ebb and flow of the preseason. I expect the Raiders to bounce back and be more crisp going into the next game. So, that's been my analysis of the Raiders versus the Vikings. Leave comments. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching my show. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Letterist Sports Show. Thanks for watching again.